Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Paideia in the Know. We are coming to you live from Hollywood at Intelligentsia Coffee, and I have the lovely Daniel Musto with me today.
Hi everybody.
I am so excited to have you here. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you for facing the beautiful sunshine. It just rained and now we have all of this
the sun has finally come out. It was pouring with rain this morning and freezing cold, and you would not know that we were in LA. You would think we were somewhere on the East Coast. But alas, here we are.
So thank you for joining us in New Hampshire.
Yeah, exactly, right? All right, so we have so much to get to with you, so I think we'll just jump right in. All right, so you have done everything in the world of style. You've been a celebrity stylist, an on-camera expert, a designer, just like everything. So give us a little bit about your history and your background and some of the incredible things you've accomplished in your career, and tell us what you're up to these days.
Okay, so obviously before you become the on-camera expert, you have to do something that make you the expert, right?
That's
and
true.
sometimes along the way, you even are called an expert before you really deserve it. But that's all the training wheels that get you to be the Martha Stewart, right? Moved out here when I was 18. By 20, I was dressing Paula from American Idol, which was like a major moment because I was a baby. But she loved that I was a baby, and she could sort of, form me into whatever she needed me to be as a stylist, childess. And after that, I ended up styling other celebrities. I ended up becoming an assistant again and learning some things with the Spice Girls, going to London with them. Learning how to dress pop stars through the Spice Girls was like a major moment. Still friends with some of them too. It's kind of it's a fun little mentor space for me as a stylist because, as you can see, I love a little rhinestone fringe, and so do they. Making pop music always requires a little rhinestone.
Everyone needs a rhinestone moment.
Thank you, Cher. But in everything that I did, I would mention that I wanted to be on camera doing it as well, and really just, instead of dressing one person and changing their look or their career or their overall aesthetic, I wanted to change it for everybody. I wanted women all over the world to be able to listen in on me and learn what came of all the craziness that I was doing in my career. Ultimately, I ended up styling like every competition show for NBC and now Netflix, and with that, you're learning how to dress athletes and people of different body types, and then hosts who are in from all over the world. And there were days where I would fit like 8 hosts who didn't speak English, and you're like, okay, I didn't realize it could get harder.
Yeah, it did.
But now they don't even speak my language, and I'm being denied a translator. So like, what is this job? What is this life? But it ends up teaching you so much more about dressing someone and communicating through clothes and body types without words. So all of that sort of led me to where I am now, where now I'm on a reality show on USA and E! Network, where I get to just be me. It's so funny. My whole life I've worked so hard to be able to like talk about my resume on TV, and they're like, let's forget about all that. Just be you. Just be Daniel. So that's an interesting moment where you're celebrated just for who you've become as a person, and everything else is sort of just on the wayside.
Yeah.
But I guess I should be flattered.
It's full circle, and you should be.
Yeah, and it's fun. And now, we worked together at E! before, and now E! has me come on to do red carpet hosting, but more in the real people space. So we work with Stitch Fix, and we do it with sales, and we interview like regular people on the red carpet, but then it airs during the celebrity red carpets where we celebrate real people, which has sort of always been my thing. So it's almost like 10 years ago, these little voices in my head were saying, get in touch with real people by way of, sitting on top of the shoulders of celebrities. And now it's sort of real people are the celebrities for us.
Yeah. It's a nice full circle.
Isn't it interesting? Where do we go next? I'm 33. What's going to happen?
I don't know.
Zombie apocalypse. What's going to happen? That's all I feel we could do from here.
I mean, I feel like we're not far away. So, So I would say for everyone, celebrities, regular people, influencers, Instagram has truly made your life a fashion show.
Yes.
And you are constantly having your photo taken. You're in stories, you're on your feed, you're in your friends' stories, you're forever around. So how important is it when you are representing a brand, when you are a brand, when you're hoping to work with brands, to dress on brand for your personality? Okay,
so about a year and 3 months ago, it was the new year, it was 2018, and although I'd sprinkled some of my personal style into my Instagram and into YouTube moments, I wasn't really focusing on it, and it would just happen by mistake. And my friends and my fans and my followers were all like, I want to see more of you. I want you to literally style shoots that feature you utilizing the styles that you've developed over the years with your talent and who you've been dressing. And I just was like, okay, we're going to start shooting. So I started hiring photographers and shooting looks and going to different places and producing these mini Instagram shoots. And at first I was like, who am I in that world? Like you don't realize that when you're behind the scenes and you're constantly dressing everyone, how interesting it is to develop yourself while thinking for everybody else. So I ended up kind of finding this fun world of flair and sparkles and rhinestones and a love for country music now expressing itself through fashion on me. So in my personal style on the gram, that fashion show is very like comfortable but flashy. And that's kind of where we sit right now. That's what it's sort of come to. It's because at the beginning I was wearing these flashy suits and then I was also doing jean jackets. I'm like, what's the middle point here? So we found this fun space where I'm very like Liberace lumberjack.
I love that. Liberace lumberjack is my new favorite phrase of the week.
So that's kind of where I've ended up in that little like fashion show of life where people get to experience it. And I enjoy doing it. I enjoy expressing it. I enjoy showing how dorky and cheesy I could be behind the scenes. We have a lot of like when you would love watching like true life Britney Spears back in the day, and you see her like film a video and then she's like sticking out her tongue and crowd food. That's so me.
I love it. It's so good. Oh, Britney, love you forever. So when someone is thinking about constructing an outfit to express their personality on social and photographs, on camera, what do you work with them to help take it, like, or what do you take into consideration when you're working with them to put an outfit together that helps them stay on brand and articulate that brand visually through what they're wearing?
There's two kinds of people, those who want to stay on brand and those who want to rebrand. If you want to stay on brand, then we will do a vision board of all our favorite looks that they've done. That's usually someone who has some sort of success, either as talent or a socialite, and they want to take it to a new level. So we do this fun vision board of like, you looked great here, you looked great there, that was great at that party, the Vogue event, you looked amazing, let's do more of that color, and you put that all together. And that helps you think in this fashion mind where you're solely focused on what you've done that was great. You know, we forget all the bad stuff, we've all made weird, bad fashion choices, put those on the wayside, only focus on that, and you become this like creative brain where the wheels are constantly just turning and, you know, resubmitting the positive outfits, like the outfits that really brought positivity to you. And then if you want to rebrand, a lot of times those vision boards are featuring other people's outfits. So I say, you know, to guys, like, do you like David Beckham? Do you like Brad Pitt? Do you like Will Smith? Let's Google their red carpet moments. And it's amazing what you can find and be inspired by Googling your favorite celebrities whose style you want to emulate and the word red carpet outfit. And then you just create this vision board where you get head to toe full looks where you can say, okay, like I love Brad Pitt's shoes and everything, and I love Ryan Phillippe's blazer choices. And if you make a vision board like that, all of a sudden not only you but your stylist and your whole team are only seeing the future you in that way. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. And I think it's so smart to collect those images to share with everyone, because particularly in creative, a picture really is worth 1,000 words, and it can be so challenging to articulate exactly what you want and what you feel good about, and a picture can really help you get there.
And you also want to do, I like playing with the celebrity marriage game, where you say, okay, I want to be like Madonna meets Casey Musgraves, or you want to be like the love child of two different celebrities, or even three. That way you can be like, I want to be like Elvis meets, you know, Ryan Gosling. And what does that mean to you? That means, you know, classic silhouettes with some embellishments, right? And a cool hairstyle. So if you marry two celebs together when you're branding yourself, it makes it really easy for other people who know those celebrities too to understand what direction you're going in, but also for you to think like them. By the way, I feel like I'm Elvis meets Casey Musgraves.
I love both of them, and I love you, so it all works out.
I love you too.
But I do think it's important to visualize where you want to go, especially in terms of fashion, because you do have to evolve to that place. So it helps you not take one enormous leap, which could kind of come off as maybe a fashion don't, and helps you take the steps to get there in a way that is a fashion do.
And the fashion don'ts still make sense too. The fashion don'ts, luckily, although the images and the videos last forever, you only have your heart and your soul and the experience is in for a short second while you actually are at the event or, you know, hosting something, and let it pass, you know, let it fly through and just, you know, if the only bad press you're getting is about a weird fashion choice you made, then you're doing okay.
You're fine. Things are fine. Like everything's working out just fine. So speaking of do's and don'ts, what are your top 3 do's for dressing for an on-camera appearance, or even just a public speaking style, something where you're going to be photographed a lot, there'll be some bright lights, quite a few people.
Okay, so a do would be to wear color, especially if you aren't on camera a lot. And you know, if you're someone like Ryan Seacrest, he has to wear navy and he has to wear black sometimes because he is just on camera every single day.
Right.
So if you have limited appearances, definitely throw as much color in as you can to get noticed. I'd also say to not ask a lot of people before you go out on stage what they think of your outfit, because you'll get in your head. I have a lot of people who like to send pictures to their boyfriends and then ask the stage director and then see what their publicist thinks, and it's it's an outfit. Go out there, experience it. You loved it. You're working with a stylist, typically who has great taste and wants to make sure you look great.
Right.
And another do would be to wear the proper undergarments. Even if you're that person who's I hate wearing a bra. Well, guess what? You wear bras on TV. It's just the way it is. You got to get a little lift. You got to make sure that the nip don't show. So make sure the proper undergarments are being worn, or maybe not worn. If you can't live without underwear, but you're wearing a skin tight dress and it shows, guess what you're doing today? You're living without the underwear.
Yeah, I would say those lights are brighter than people think.
Always, which gets us into our don'ts, doesn't it?
Yes, which transitions us perfectly into our don'ts. So what would you say are the top 3 don'ts for dressing on camera?
Okay, top 3 don'ts. Don't wear any fabrics that are too thin without the proper undergarments, or even at all. Why even take the risk? Because I also don't love when you can see your bra. I don't think it's great unless you're wearing La Perla and
and
it's
that's
supposed
the point.
to be seen that way. You want to make sure that everything that you're wearing lengthens you, no matter how tall you are. Because I feel like the camera adds 10 pounds makes sense, but it sort of shortens everyone, and I think that's the part of it that makes it seem like you have more weight on you. So anything that elongates you, like a stripe like you see behind us, you want to do taper things in as much as you can. The key word on any shirt is darts. Darts on the back are what you see when you, especially buy a men's shirt or a fitted women's shirt, even at Express, where they put the little triangles on the back to suck it in at the waist. No matter what your body type, that will always help you. And then also, don't go. If you're in the world of branding yourself as an expert or a proper influencer, unless you are representing the hair business, keep your hair kind of sleek, sophisticated, and classic, especially if you're playing around with your fashion, because that can distract people so much. And that's not to say if you have big curly hair, don't wear the big curly hair, but wear the big curly hair and maybe not the pink stripe.
Pick your battles.
A lot of people want to do extra things to their hair. I know I have a friend specifically who recently stopped doing that so much because she realized it was taking away from what was coming out of her mouth.
Well, and you also want to think that a lot of the framing on television is kind of from here up, so sort of pay attention to the contrast happening.
You're literally like your hair, your boobs, and your eyes, right?
That's all.
So we got to make sure
that's all. You've been distilled down to that.
The boobies are in place, and your eyes are bright and gorgeous. And that's all you need.
That's the most important part. So, what are 3 items that you always carry with you in your kit as your in case of emergency items, and have you ever had to use any of those?
Okay, I use them all the time. Number 1 is the double stick tape, just because I use it for things on women. You use it to not show your bust line or take things hold your pants up. But for men, we use it for weird stuff, holding our collars down. That's a big one, because collars have a life of their own when you're on camera, and they will just pop up, they'll fly. You're like, ooh, is there an invisible string tugging on this? So you want to keep everything tapered down. I also love a black Sharpie in every size, because you'd be surprised how many times you see this had a Levi's tag on it, but I made it black because I felt like the red was popping too much when I do things like this. So I darkened it with a Sharpie.
So smart.
If you ever cut out a tag from inside of a blouse, especially a woman with more sheer fabrics, you'll see that little bit of white in there, and most of the time you have a navy or black color going on, so you can Sharpie that. Having a Sharpie in every color is great to Sharpie on top of that satin tag so that you don't see it anymore. I'm going to do a bunch of these, not even very. Then there's black safety pins. They're amazing. If you're doing self-alterations, unless it's a white item, usually a black safety pin won't reflect the light, so it won't bounce off on the silver, and it'll just be muted. and you'll have like whatever little nip and tuck you have to do. It's great for hemming pants last minute. You just use the black safety pins on the inside, you iron it down, and everything's fine, at least for the day. I also love, for both men and women, a lot of times on shows now, we do talk shows, although you're speaking straight to the camera, they'll pan around you and show the top of your head. So I love the Topix hair powder because we all have a cowlick. And that cowlick, especially if you're using products in your hair, could get a little greasy. So you get Topix from blonde to dark black, and you shake a little on top of your client's head. I'm not a hairstylist, but I need to make sure that there's no grease everywhere when we're doing a full outfit, and for myself. So we shake a little bit of that on there, and that actually helps complete the look too, because it's a head-to-toe situation.
I love it. So you obviously are a wealth of just styling tips. It is unreal, but you are so much more than a celebrity stylist, and you have built an incredibly engaged audience on social. You have expanded your career far beyond just styling. Can you share with us a little bit about how you transitioned from being a stylist into an expert and opening the door to all these different opportunities in your career?
So when I was 16, I remember telling my mom I wanted to be like an on-camera stylist. I'd see them on Oprah or like Entertainment Tonight, and I'd be like, I want to do that. And she's like, well, you need to learn how to be a stylist first, and then you do that. So going into a career as a stylist, you have that sort of in the back of my head. It would just, you're on set with people all day, important people who are huge publicists and managers and agents and directors and producers. And you just put it in all of their ears as they're loving you up and seeing how talented you are, and that you show up and you're professional and you look great and you clean yourself up, that you also would love to do what you're doing on camera. And that goes for any business. If you're in the medical field, if you start telling people that you want to be an on-camera expert in the medical field every day in what you do, no matter what level they're at, you will always reach somebody who has some say. Like, at the end of the day, if even the local news in a small town wants to have you on as an expert, that's huge if that's your first thing, and that is so easy to do. Literally, people are so desperate and hungry for your expertise, way more than you are to get it out there. So once you realize that, you're just like a talking machine.
It's also a great way to hone your craft. I think practice is invaluable in this career. So I think it's such a wonderful way just to keep getting on that bike.
And that's what I did. I just would tell everybody. I'd be like, I want to talk about this on Entertainment Tonight or wherever. And just slowly you start to get brought on. A lot of it now happens in like podcasts or these like AfterBuzz TV things that people do where you learn how to do it without being seen at first. You're just heard. We used to call it radio. And then
back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. And then you end up now being able to, try it out. Are you the funny person? Are you the informative person? Are you the cheeky person? Are you the sarcastic person? All those things. But I realized that along the way. And because as I was pitching myself and I was getting these jobs and hosting these live events and going on these TV shows, you realize that you start to hone in on what people are laughing at, what people are writing you about the next day. Oh my God, I love when you talked about double stick tape and what you do. You're like, oh, people are into the hats. People love a hat. So you start elevating that part of yourself. And it's like Gordon Ramsay. You think Gordon Ramsay is a total jerk all day, every day, and is like cracking whips? No. But for the 30 minutes we get him on TV, he knows that that's what he needs to be. It's a part of him. But that's what we reacted to, and that's what we love. So that's what you do. You elevate that part of yourself.
So smart. Such great advice. So for someone who's trying to break into the media as an expert in their field, can you share a little bit about what you think would be a great way to approach that, some things that have worked for you?
Using this, Instagram Live is huge. How great that you can speak to all 200 or 2,000 or 200,000 of your followers and have it live for a day.
So good.
Of course, people can latch onto this and save it forever, but for the most part, it's just a fun, temporary way to experiment, to chat with people directly. We didn't have that when I was starting. There was no, speaking to your fans. They just knew of you, and looked out for you, and that's the way it was. So utilizing this space and, pretend that everything that you're doing is the biggest gig that you want. So for me, a dream job would be to host America's Got Talent. I would love to do that. I would love to experience that with all of the contestants. So whenever I go on and I host shows, I just sort of pretend that that's my job. And that's a really interesting way, and that goes for both on camera and off camera, to put everything that you could possibly have into the moment you have now. Because you really never know who's watching. That's another huge one too. You really have no idea who sees what you're doing and has an idea for you in the future.
Yeah, so true. Totally true.
And also know that those people too are planning the next step for you without you even knowing it somewhere. Somewhere there's like someone's having a meeting and your name is coming up and you're not going to be told until they're really sure that they want you for it. So all along the way, you just got to make sure that you keep showing up.
Yeah, and that you're ready when the opportunity arises.
Exactly.
So I think you've had this amazing professional career, but you've also created this incredible community on Instagram. And they're super engaged and they're really funny and cool and diverse. How did you build that community? And then how do you keep that community energized around what you're doing?
I'd say building the community was mostly by elevating that part of myself on Instagram too, because that's a whole nother place. Instagram loves when I am myself, which I've realized is funny, cheeky, sarcastic, all those things. No matter what I do or how polished I look in a picture, they love to either see a little behind the scenes or get a little insight into what we were doing.
Yeah.
And also to humbly invite those people in your circles who have more following, who are like on brand with what you do, to celebrate you on theirs too. It's just the way it is. If like my dear friend Jeannie Mai, who's so freaking funny, she makes me laugh till I pee. If I'm laughing till I pee in the background of one of her videos and she tags me, her audience then is like, oh my god, I'm so jealous. I want to laugh till I pee in Jeannie Mai's dressing room. And they start following you because they get a little insight into that too.
Yeah.
And realize also it's about paying attention too. So if like Jeannie tags me in something and I know that we've done crazy things where we're like cooking with her mom and her fans are loving it. They are following us. They're laughing with us. They want us to do an Insta Live. We do all of it. I now know that, okay, cooking and having fun with it and messing up the whole time is something that my people might like too. So you try that with your people.
Yeah.
And that's the way you kind of hone like your top 5 activities that people want to watch you do.
Yeah.
In mine, it's a big like behind the scenes Daniel's point of view people like.
Yeah.
And that's why I do Instagram takeovers for brands now, where they want to get like what's Daniel's point of view on an award show or fashion week or whatever it is. It's just what they're into, and it's almost because I'm so normal.
Yeah.
And I'm like in this fabulous world.
Right. Well, and I think that's kind of the thing that, you're hitting the nail on the head. You're you, and you're not the ultra polished, ultra perfect version of you. You're the real version of you. And I think that's what people love about stories and what they love about Instagram is that you can show yourself to be a real human. You don't have to be as professional and buttoned up and polished as if you're doing red carpet commentary for E. Is a very different experience. You need to be buttoned up. You need to be very professional and polished for that. But if you're on Instagram Live and it's, 4 o'clock in the afternoon at Stagecoach, you can have a little fun, let loose.
I love 4 o'clock in the afternoon at Stagecoach. It's interesting, too, that you bring up the e-hosting thing, because when I do that, I realize that there's a shift now in the new hosts that these companies are bringing on, where, like Jeannie might said it best, she's like, Cardi B changed it for all of us.
Yeah.
Because people saw how real one can be in those situations while being interviewed.
Yeah.
And she's like, that whole, take a deep breath, let the weight just fly off of you and just say whatever comes to mind is something that actually these people in casting are looking for now.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're better off being a little over.
Because then you're just like, I'm going to do it. We got it. Let's just go. Yeah, I know. It is an interesting shift. And it's something that I see even mirrored in the way that we're making video content. I'd say 2 or 3 years ago, we were making super buttoned up, very produced, very beautifully lit, super even content. And now I'm looking for ways to elevate something that looks like it's shot on an iPhone.
We always were used to commercials because we were trained in TV. So you thought that, let's do TV, but on Instagram. And then you realize, wait, it actually needs to feel more like a fly on the wall than it does like, let's set up a camera and start the camera and
it used to be like a super aspirational fly on the wall, and now I feel like it's a real fly on the wall.
Yeah, infomercials used to make so much money for like, gadgets and stupid things, and you would watch it. It would be like, this does this and this does that, and it saves you this and whatever. Now people want to watch it in motion.
Yeah.
And they want to like see the result without having to hear anything.
Right. Yeah. No, totally. I mean, I think the consumer is infinitely more sophisticated, and I'm grateful that they are, because it makes making content so much more fun. It allows you to be more creative. It allows you to build a relationship with people that you may otherwise never have gotten to know, and let them help shape your work and creativity, and have their input and challenge you to be more creative.
Totally.
And that's such a great place to be.
What's fun is it all ends up giving you a voice, which then we don't need because everyone's watching everything on mute.
Right. I know, right? The irony is like no one hears you. Here's what you're saying anymore. Well, where can everyone follow along on your adventures?
Okay, so follow me at Daniel Musto, M-U-S-T-O, like gusto. I also have, as a fluke, randomly, I am now doing like a custom clothing line called Daniel
Wait, no,
Diamond.
time out. It's not a fluke. It's
Like-
meant to be. Like,
Well,
this stuff
actually,
is incredible.
I say fluke because part of it started with Luke Bryan jumping on top of me at Stagecoach at a party and like freaking out about my this exact jacket. And I was like, Luke and the fluke, like, just, you know what? You start to realize people want something and you have to give it to them.
Yeah.
And I'm having so much fun with it.
love
Because
it.
like I said, I've always been styling and then speaking to the masses about it and teaching people about what I've learned, but now I get to sort of design for the masses based on what I've created and the different things I've done and embellishments that I've done to clothing that people have always been like, where can I get that?
Yeah.
So now we're doing it for everybody.
Well, it's perfect.
Thank you, you're perfect.
And I am so grateful that you made the time to speak with us today.
Good.
This is so fun. I've learned a bunch, which I love. And all right, well, thank you so much again. This
I
is
adore
great.
this.
And
Like
you
cream
guys
of the crop.
follow Daniel. He's amazing. And get these jackets because they're going to rock your world. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Love you.